to be real on this channel.
Look, Dior. My name is Dior.
All right, so let's be real.
Not to say that moving under EXP with Chasen would be that way, because if I'm being real with myself.
What's up, agents? It's Chasen J Miles, and today I have another one of my agents here on the video. Her name is Dior. She's actually new to the team, but she's not new to real estate. So what I want to talk to her about, she's been operating as a solo agent for years, and so I want to talk to her about coming over to a team, let her share her story and how that's been going for her so far. So stay tuned. You looking at my question?
No, I'm not. I can't read that far.
Okay. All right, Dior. So, what's your story? What's your real estate history?
Okay, I'll see if I can condense it and make it not too long. But so I started out in 2012, actually as a leasing agent at a apartment community out in Pearland, Texas. Getting ready to graduate from undergrad at Texas Southern University. Let's go Tigers! Anyways, saw they had an empty desk, said, hey, you hiring? And I took a job as a leasing agent, and it was super fun. It was cool. However, you know, same buildings, in the same apartments over and over again. The locators, they would come in and out, they would call, ask what percentage we paid, and finally I stopped one of them several months in and said, excuse me, what are you getting a percentage of? When they told me it was the first month's rent, and I looked at how much I was getting paid, sign me up. So that's how it all started. I wanted to become a locator first. Moved to the Dallas area, moved back home rather to the Dallas area. Asked my dad for a little money and scraped up a little bit of my own. Like, okay, I need to take these real estate classes. Took my classes, got my license, passed on the first go, which everyone, you can do that.
I did it.
Exactly. So anyways, started trying to sell houses first, and probably about 6 months in got my first listing. It was super exciting. It's actually a girl I went to high school with. This is prior to people really using Facebook and social media to really promote themselves. And so this is back in the day when you would just go through with like a little letter and you would go in everyone's box and messenger, and there was no messenger then.
Yeah.
So you just go through. Anyways, she reached out, I reached out. Anyhow, so fast forward, went back into worked for a property management company, marketed to all the realtors in the area, which is actually how I met Chasen initially 7 years ago. Oh my God. Anyways, kept doing that, then left that and did apartment locating for the next few years full time, and still sold some houses here and there. So, and now I'm here.
Awesome. Well, we are so happy to have her. So the first question, after being solo all these years, why did you decide to join a team?
So, if I'm being real with myself, and here's the thing about life, and especially your work life, and if you have big goals and aspirations, you must take time to reflect, ask yourself, am I really living up to my full potential? And if that answer is no, and it's not an answer of coming from being too hard on yourself, it's an answer of coming from knowing like, hey, I really haven't been putting in my full capabilities. Once you come to that conclusion, then you gotta ask yourself, well, how do I improve that? And I knew for me that was accountability. I did not have enough accountability, nor did I have enough kind of like structure and structured items. Like there were all these different ideas out there, all these CRMs and all these other coaching systems, but they all cost a lot of money, and at the end of the day, you're still on your own. You're still by yourself. So the idea of being able to be paired with an accountability buddy, knowing that there were certain systems I was going to have to report, knowing that I was going to have a leader that was going to sit down with me and explain the numbers. You know, you've got to know what you want to make that year, and then you got to know how to break that down into how you make that. No one had ever done that. So these were things that I factored in as I was making my choice of what I was going to do for 2020. So yeah, that's the short version.
That's awesome. So you've been here for a couple weeks now. How is it different? How is it different? I know you mentioned the accountability and structure, but like truly, how is it different coming into something like that when you haven't really had that before?
So the thing about that, I would say it's going to definitely depend on, you know, from team to team. I know for me, it's this team's youthfulness and the eagerness, the hungriness, I get a lot of ideas and come up with a lot of ideas. There's a lot of collaboration, which is really awesome. It inspires me even more, which, and then also there, again, it's that accountability of like, okay, you've thrown this thing out there, now you better do it, because either someone's depending on you to do it, or you got some eyes watching you now, and eyes that are closed. This isn't just like your huge office where actually no one's watching you at a huge office. They don't care what you're doing, actually.
Yeah, right.
Seriously, I've had that, like, no one even, like, they wouldn't even know if I gotten kidnapped. Oh my God. But I feel like here to be like, hey, did you die? You're not answering. So I like that so far. I feel like it already feels like a family, and in a real way. So that's cool. I like that.
Great. Love her energy, don't you?
I probably talk too fast. It's okay.
No, you're good.
Oh, y'all, cucumber water is a revelation.
All right, so let's be real. I know that, yeah, we have a lot of systems and there's a lot of stuff thrown at you, especially coming from kind of working your own schedule to being held accountable and stuff like that. How has it been for you mentally and with your experience with all this coming at you?
Oh my God, so that's so funny, because before we got on camera today, I said I had to tell them a little story about me coming in today to do live cold calling. So one, I've never done cold calling, like literally never in my real estate career. I've done it as a kid and stuff like that, helping out with, charity and stuff like that, but never did it in this business. So I was very nervous to begin with. Nevertheless, I woke up this morning. I actually, and side note, I actually work a part-time job. It's like a little like grassroots marketing thing I'm doing with some old coworkers, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Well, live cold calling is only on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm like trying to figure out how can I come do this. And I'm at home. It's gross outside. I'm not in the best mood. And I'm just like, ugh, okay. I've already told them that I may not be able to do that today, so I can just go to my other job and just try to do some work there. And I'm like, I'm not in the mood for anything today. And something hit me, and I was like, okay, get dressed, pack up your little makeup, take it all with you, so you're not late anywhere. Get to the other place early enough that you can say, hey, can I leave at this time so I can go do this thing? Because here's the thing, I've had to learn to really start prioritizing the things that really matter to me. And also, some of those people, I've let a lot of opportunities slip through my fingers because I've let my external circumstances dictate what I really want to do. And even going to the car to go put the makeup, just okay, I'm gonna go do it, go put my makeup on. Even then, on the way to the car, I still was like going back and forth. Then it was like, no, I can't let that keep defeating me. So that's how I ended up in the office today doing live cold calling, and now I'm sitting here doing this. So sometimes you gotta battle yourself.
Yeah, true.
And hopefully your better self wins. Actually, not hopefully. You gotta make sure your better self wins.
You can.
No, you can.
No, you can.
I'm Thursday. I talk a lot. My mouth get dry.
Did you have any hesitations when you were considering and thinking about joining the team? Did you have any hesitations with it?
Do you want my real answer?
I mean, I try to be real on this channel.
Dior. My name is Dior. I like my coins.
Yeah.
And I was not excited about a double split, especially being that I've always worked solo, and I'm like, okay, I know I'm gonna get this much. And I did some number crunching and started thinking about it all. However, what I had to come to grips with was, but Dior, have you been doing the volume that you want to do? I had to look at my bigger picture. Home sold, my numbers. I would like to get my broker license just so that I can be a broker associate and not always have to play such big splits.
Yeah.
So, and then there's other things I'm doing in my career, as well as, trying to move into commercial real estate. And so I didn't want to move to another brokerage and just be a solo agent with all these videos and all this like self-training. Not to say that moving under EXP with Chase would be that way, because he would still provide some guidance, but still working with a team, there's just a different level of like camaraderie. And that's the thing about real estate. It can be really lonely, and that camaraderie can really help you, it keeps a fire under you. And even when that fire is kind of not working, something will click eventually, because someone's gonna say, hey, like, what's going on?
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
True. Has the transition been difficult?
Well, only in the way that I live a very busy life, and before I signed up, I already had January all planned out with my social calendar and my training calendar. So I had to make a lot of adjustments kind of like the last minute, and I hate to do that because I like to I like my little social life.
Yeah.
But also my social life is how I do get a lot of good referrals and things like that. And then with the commercial part that I've been doing, it's a lot of me right now just kind of being mentored in that area. And so that's a lot of like 8 a.m. breakfasts and coffees. Then my mentors want to meet with me for lunch and they want me to come to their meetings and I need to work on stuff with them. Then I'm like, but I'm still doing residential too because I've got a plan for that for the next couple years as I, start to really get acclimated into the EXP world and all of that and seeing what that opens up. So that's been the only real, I guess, difficulty at this time. Because again, you have your mindset on what you're going to do. And so, but again, one of those things that challenged me to say, okay, but you said you want to be successful at this also. So you're the only one who's in charge of that calendar, that social life and that work life. So do what you got to do with it.
For sure. What advice would you give to someone who's considering joining a team?
Ooh, that's a good one.
And they could be a newer agent or
or a seasoned agent. Yeah, a mildly seasoned agent.
Yeah.
Mildly.
You're so silly.
Okay. So if I were a brand new agent, I would say definitely do it because you don't even know what it feels like yet to get a 80-20 split. You don't even know what that feel like yet. Yeah. So go ahead and go with, because the thing with for some people it is about the finance because there's a goal you're trying to reach and there is a double split being on a team, but that's okay because if you don't know anything, I say something better than zero. And as a brand new agent, that's what I had a whole lot of, and it was very, very discouraging. Also, now let's get out of the surface. If you're brand new, a lot of times you're younger, even if you're older, you can learn from others and you learn from being in an environment where people are working together. And being a real estate agent is kind of a solo thing, but like for instance, we're gonna do a home buyer seminar coming February 15th. Mark your calendars, especially if you're here in Dallas. That coming up with all of that, to come up with what we're gonna present, that was really fun. It's collaborative. It's what we need to have more of in real estate. So if you're a seasoned agent and perhaps you need to level up, you need to go to your next level. Again, it's one of those things. Self-evaluate. Now, furthermore, if you're coming from outside of any understanding of being in real estate, I say definitely do your research. Ask about their previous sales and their numbers for the previous year. Find out what their training has been, what their training schedule is like. You gotta do your research. That's part of the work. You gotta do your research and that's something too. Don't jump at the first thing that you meet, first person you meet or anything like that. It's dating. Go on a few dates. Let them, don't let them charm you, but just, let them get to know each other a little bit and then make your decision before you decide to commit.
For sure. Well, she's awesome. I'm super excited about what's to come from her. I'm sure y'all are going to see her a lot, especially if you're following me on Instagram and you're on our mailing list and you come to our events. So, Dior, thank you.
You're very
welcome.
And
we'll talk to you soon.